The Nerdgasm Talk podcast is brought to you by Spaces Philly. If you love podcasts, go to spacesphilly.com where you can check out Lulu and Pop, Both Sides, Turntables, Jump Thought Super Tongue, and the Nerd Coalition's very own No Gimmicks Needed. Visit spacesphilly.com today. And now, feel the Nerdgasm.
I feel like we should go to the movies. I was throwing it, but okay.
Oh man,
that was the oop.
He do an awesome alley hoop.
That was a oop.
Nobody was ready for it.
You was looking at him
yes.
like,
Well, if you guys can check out my movie experience of the new movie that hit Amazon Prime on March 5th, coming to America. And I'm proud to say that we have somebody that worked closely, not won't reveal the full status, but worked closely on the project with Primetime here. So I felt as though it was only right that we have him here because I did my review already. But now I talk about spoilers. You know, we'll go into the movie, what we liked about it, what we didn't like about it. Does it deserve the hate that it's getting? Mm-hmm. And should there be a third one? And all the kind of questions that, want to answer. Are we done with the sequels coming out 20 or 30 years later? Or, or should we kind of move on from that aspect of everything about it? So, real quick, I figured like, I haven't heard Swag or Prime Times I heard late sketches, but I'm saying, but, let's just get the quick overview before we can go right into the spoilers.
No problem. I'll let the executive producer Primetime of the movie Coming to America go first.
Okay. What? So many questions at once. I'm gonna just pass off I'm gonna just pass it off and say my opinions for the next question. That's all I'm gonna say.
Damn, we was just asking how you feel. Like,
I got feelings. I'm gonna just pass it off. All right.
I'll go first. Coming to America 2. Now, I haven't watched the first Coming to America since I would say high school or so. So it's definitely been a while since I've watched the first one.
That's your last week.
No, it wasn't last week. It's been a while now that I'm looking at the years. It's almost 10 years. It will be 10 years next year. But coming into this movie, I didn't really know I knew what to expect. I seen one trailer and I was like, all right, I'll watch it. I'll check it out. I wasn't really like going to be like, oh my God, I got to watch every single trailer to know what's going on. I saw the first trailer, knew what they were offering. I was like, yeah, I'll hop into it. I highly enjoyed this movie. I enjoyed this much more than I thought I was going to. Now, I think what helped me enjoy this movie more is because I haven't seen the first film in such a long time. That this was just me hopping into it and watching it as its own movie. What I really liked about it is that this wasn't a Eddie Murphy-centered movie. This was more of an ensemble movie. Kind of like how Dolomite was. However, Dolomite did a much better job in bringing the ensemble together. One thing I definitely didn't like was everyone's African accent until Wesley Snipes getting on the screen. Wesley Snipes, like, I don't know, did he want to play Black Panther at one point?
He did. They had the movie lined up for him and everything.
Wait, who?
Well, it says he's supposed to be the original Black Panther.
No.
Like, you could tell
that's how he feel.
He was practicing for this. He was like his African accent was so well that you heard everyone else's and it was like, what is going on? It was almost like I was watching Luke Cage when we got that side character using a Jamaican accent and it was just so bad.
Now you know you want to do it. We don't got Q here.
Mariah Stokes.
Mariah Stokes.
Right.
They called me Bushmouth. He was so angry. He was aggressive all the time.
He said he was faster than Usain Bolt. I had to check him one time.
Oh God! Y'all could like, how many Jamaicans are there that you could have gotten?
In New York,
so many.
In New York,
bro.
Like you could get anybody and you'll be good. But so their access was like that was a big thing. Arsenio didn't even try. He literally just say, I'm coming as me. I was like, all right.
These are the same accents from the original movie.
Yeah, it was. It was. And that was like shocking. I was like, what? It must have been that long since I seen it to really have that effect. Jermaine Fowler, I really liked his character. I felt like he really gave it his own flair to it, and it wasn't a straight rehash or a retelling of what the first movie was, just brought in Africa. So I really liked that. This movie really brought that together. Two, I'm surprised he turned down Tiana Taylor because I would have never in my life. But we'll get to that. We'll get to that when we talk more into spoilers. Who else was it? It was Jermaine Fowler, Tracy Morgan. He was bearable in this movie. I cannot stand Tracy Morgan as an actor, but he was very bearable in this movie. He didn't Tracy Morgan it up, you know.
Tracy Morgan had.
No, you don't see that. You don't see the outtakes. All right, I see.
Yeah.
Oh, I seen like the first couple, but then I was like, all right, the movie's done. Like, I didn't really. I didn't think it was going to be a stinger, so I was like, yeah, I don't need to watch these credits. But one thing I'm kind of glad. Well, I wouldn't say glad. This movie was very predictable, so I knew they were going to give. I knew he was going to give the kingdom to his daughter. I thought they were going to go more of a woman empowerment route, which I'm glad they didn't try to like stuff it down our throats with it. They kind of let it in naturally with it. So I'm glad that they did that instead of trying to make a statement with it, you know. So, but overall, the movie for me, I'll give it a hashtag give it a chance. Hashtag give it again. I can see myself watching this again. So, yeah.
Thanks for the short overview. Let's get since they wasn't here for your short review. You want to give your just quick thoughts before we get into the deep spoilers?
I'll wait for the deep spoilers. I give it a hashtag give it a chance.
Okay, so we're all on the same route. So I figured let's first talk about the stuff that we did like in the movie, if anything. Okay, so the thing is, the number one, because this movie is, I told my wife before we even watched the movie, I said, black folks are going to treat this movie very unfairly. Mm-hmm. That's exactly what I said. Ladies, catch my line?
He's not lying.
I said, before I even started the movie, I said, they're not going to treat this fairly.
Right.
Because the title is Coming to America, which is a comedy classic that literally black folks average watching 2.5 times a year. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was about to say average, but you know, okay, that's in the middle. You're right.
Yeah, so
they played it 24 hours during Christmas. This
I was about to say exactly. So just then alone,
they turned off Baby Boy.
One thing I would say that stood out to me. The one thing to me, other than, because we all going to talk about Wesley Snipes, but my personal opinion, one thing that was good was Eddie Murphy and Arsenio Hall. This was their movie back in the 80s, and then them coming back and doing what they do best. They still got it to me. Mm-hmm. I found myself laughing at all the Eddie Murphy, Arsenio Hall stuff. But you know, when I get to the bad, I feel as though there wasn't enough of that. Mm-hmm. Because just like you said, Sway, it wasn't an Eddie Murphy focused movie. Mm-hmm. It was more of an ensemble thing. I think that's what the problem was.
I actually thought that was a strength, that it wasn't so focused on Eddie Murphy and Arsenio.
But see, the problem I have with that is I don't find the everybody else that funny. Mm-hmm. Like Tracy, I have said to myself, Tracy Morgan to me is just not funny.
He's not funny.
You know, all. Hustle Man was funny, and that's
pick up the pieces.
That's his claim to fame. But other than that, I don't think he's funny. I counted the amount of times I laughed at Tracy Morgan in this movie, and it was twice. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, yeah, see, that's the guy who played his son, right? What's his name again?
Jermaine Fowler.
Yeah, Jermaine Fowler. He's fine. You know what I'm saying? But I was laughing at his stuff. And like the stuff that I was more into Leslie Jones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I feel like Jermaine Fowler's character wasn't purposely trying to be funny. He was more of the like corny funny. Like when I do jokes.
Okay.
You said the what jokes?
The jokes that he did.
The corny funny.
Yeah, see, it's like, what kind of generation are you trying to sell to here? Mm-hmm. Are you trying to sell to the cult generation where it's like coming to America is for me, kind of like, because I was like, this may be a little bit different because it's not rated R like the first one was.
Right.
Yeah, I would have much preferred it was though.
Yeah.
What? So it's only like one word separating it from being rated R PG-13.
It was, but there were certain. It feels as though like they really pulled back of going in or what they wanted to do or say because of what the climate is now when it comes to comedy. But once again, when Eddie Murphy and Arsenio Hall was doing their things on the screen, it felt like they were channeling in what made Coming to America funny in the first place.
Right.
On certain parts. And then but it seemed like a lot of the newer characters that they brought in, when it comes to Leslie Jones, and when it comes to Jamil Hill, or when it comes to even Kiki Lane as his daughter, I like her. I liked her in the Old Guard. But I was like, the purpose of a comedy is to laugh, regardless of what the comedy is. And then I felt myself that it was kind of too far in between of things that made me actually laugh. Now, don't get me wrong, there were parts of the movie I actually just laughed because I was sitting watching with Lady Sketch. I sat there actually laughed at it because me, I find a lot of things funny, and a lot of those things did come from Eddie Murphy and Arsenio Hall. And Wesley Snipes. I thought Wesley Snipes did good. And first of all, Wesley Snipes gave a different kind of energy to the movie.
Yeah, he did.
He came in there and was just like, I'm Wesley Snipes. I think I know what this character needs, and I'm going to do it. And once again, I think that there's an imbalance of today comedy and classic comedy when you have the classic heavyweights come and try to do, say a comedy thing.
Right. Now, this movie did feel more of a family movie than it did of a comedy.
Than the first one did. That's
right.
What felt. It felt like I felt as though like me and my son and my daughter, we can sit down and watch Coming to America. I'm like, I'm not. Watch the first one with my son. I mean, we'll probably see it. Sure, I'm saying, but it wasn't that kind of thing. If you
had a different energy to it.
Had a different energy to it, yeah.
Now, do you think that was what they were going for to begin with?
See, I don't know because there's a lot of things
I got from it. I feel like they were going for that.
I mean, I would just say there was a lot of stuff that got to be cut. That had to be cut out because of like they didn't know of the climate. So there was a lot of stuff that was cut out.
Right.
I was like, these trailers don't match this movie.
And I told him that when he said that, I said, I'm willing to bet there were things that they pulled out of the movie because they weren't sure how it would go over.
Yeah, there's a lot of James Earl Jones talking about Simi's wife and her privates, and it was extra. It was a lot.
So, see, I think that's the difference between. I think that would be the difference between like a PG-13 and a rated R. Now I know, and also I know things are different now. Yeah. Comedy is completely different now, and I know the difference between the PG-13 and an R-rated movie. Like the criteria really is just how many F-bombs can you drop, in this movie. But it also is a different. You're not going to get as much adult-based comedy. Whether it's with up with the times or not in a PG-13 movie. I don't know. Me personally, I already expressed the things that I thought would be wrong with the movie because as soon as we got into the movie, about 10-15 minutes in, I told him what the whole movie was going to be. And when I saw the trailer, I was just like, there are certain things in this that I'm going to be like, ugh. And I know one of my biggest things was, why are the barbershop dudes still alive?
Yeah, it's been 30 years. that barbershop.
First one, why ain't y'all dead?
But I don't mind that though.
Because you like the barbershop thing.
Look, I'm gonna just tell you the way it was explained to me. is for one, people are gonna be mad if they're not in there, and for two, it's a movie, so you could do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Literally, that was the way it was explained to me.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, whatever, cool.
I agree with that.
And you know what? I'm gonna just kind of spoil this part. It was actually supposed to be another Eddie Murphy character in there, but they couldn't figure out how to do it. But they were supposed to be somewhere as a cameo of oh my God, what's his name? Sherman Klump.
Oh,
Somewhere was supposed to show up. I don't know where he was about to get ready to do all this makeup and stuff, and he was supposed to show up, but they didn't know where to fit him in, so they just did.
That laugh almost snuck in there though.
Remember that? Remember I was telling you about the Eddie Murphy screen?
Yeah.
It snuck in there, and I was like, "Don't bring that back out." when he choked Arsenio Hall, I said, "Damn it, there you go." Don't. He's been
doing Shrek for too long. He got to get out of it a little bit. He still gotta.
It's just like if you close your eyes, sometimes you're going to get Donkey or Mushu, and it's like, but I'm watching Coming to America, and I don't want Donkey and Mushu.
Right.
I'm gonna say the issue that I saw a lot of folks had with it was not necessarily like I saw a couple people say the same thing that I was thinking, but a lot of people was really trying to write deep, like fake deep think pieces about this movie, and I was just like, that's not what we asked for. Yeah. And you know, like, come on, stop. I think my biggest issue with the movie was for some reason it felt like with the pacing, it felt rushed. Like it felt like we was trying to cram a whole lot in, and I'm like the first movie, like the original movie, was only I think slightly longer.
But still,
it was longer. Yeah, which I think kind of did hurt this one as well as it being so short, and they had to compress a lot of stuff. Mm-hmm. So I do understand that part.
Yeah, that it felt like we were trying to stack too much like on top of each other. Like they didn't give time for what is his name?
King Chopper Jafar?
No,
Lavelle,
thank you. They didn't give time for like Lavelle and Marimbe. Like they didn't give time for that to breathe. I feel like.
My bad.
Go ahead.
Nah, I was gonna say I like the new characters they added. I just wish they could have gave them more. Like I feel like a lot of people didn't even. Mika was like in the movie, but she was barely in the movie. Like, mm-hmm. Yeah, I wanted her to have more of a significant, stronger role.
That's definitely on my list because I was just like, I do not like how he just like completely discarded the daughters in like the first 20 to 30 minutes of the movie, and then we barely got any of the little ones.
Right.
And we got some sparse, highlights of Kiki Lane as Mika, and I liked her character. Mm-hmm. She's one of the strongest characters that I think we had in the movie that they gave a bit of character development to. It was just like it felt like you threw so many people in there with so much going on that we really didn't get a chance to like get anything from them. Like Lunel, I feel like was here just simply because like was it a favor to someone? Was she in the movie because somebody was like, I told Lunel I was gonna put her in a movie, so put her in there. Like I don't, because she barely had any speaking lines.
She did.
Yeah, she was only in 2 scenes, but 3 at the most.
The stuff that she was saying, I thought was funny.
Yeah,
because
she was a background character.
Yeah, but you know what? Wow. A lot of the background characters in Coming to America is what makes it funny.
It was funny. And I just, I wanted a little more time for folks to develop. Like it felt like the king. First of all, my least favorite scene in the movie is the funeral scene. Okay.
Hey, wait, just real quick, before you get to that, real quick, I do wish they did give the background characters more because, like, Rodney Perry was in this movie and he said one thing, if that. He
was in this movie. He was in
how many
at the house, right?
He was in the family scenes. Every family scene of his family he was in. But let me ask y'all a question because I don't even think they fleshed this out. What do y'all know Leslie Jones' character first name?
Mary.
Yeah.
Okay, so they did. Okay, I'm like, because they barely
said
said
her name
Mary.
in the movie.
Yeah,
Right.
It was
it
always
was weird.
mom or my mom or the woman I had a baby with. And I was just like, she said her name though. Like, what? I'm confused.
One thing about today's comedy that I do not like, and this happens in a lot of the newer comedies. I've seen a lot in Little.
Mm-hmm.
They can't is that you have to. It's like my friend over explaining a joke.
Yes.
They don't treat the audience as we're intelligent anymore.
Like there's no
Sounds familiar.
Yeah. So and what they do is that they just sit there and they tell the joke, then they explain the joke,
and then so the bit goes too long.
and it goes too long to the point where it's like we get it. It's kind of like, okay, remember in the first Coming to America when Hakeem, excuse me, got him and Simi got off the plane. The funniest thing was he says, "Look, we cannot be noticed. We are simple African students," but they got all this garb on that is obviously noticeable, and they got all these guys carrying their royal luggage. It's like 15 carriers.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't have to explain how what he's saying is stupid. They let it breathe.
Mm-hmm.
In today's comedy, you'll break it down, be like, "Well, Your Highness, how the hell can we hide this and what you got on? The audience don't need that." And a lot of times, with some of these jokes here, it was like, okay, I can tell by the generation that they're trying to explain a lot of the joke here to the point where it's like it takes away from the joke. It kills the joke. Now, go ahead.
Now you can continue. My bad.
No, I'm saying now I didn't have a problem with the funeral scene as much as my wife did.
We know what you
we gonna get to that.
What you had a problem with.
No, I'll get to what I had a problem with. All
right, I'm gonna see. Okay, so I had the same problem because like even though I was there, I had two problems with it. I was like, for one, why are we getting all these people back to back to back, and then two, are they canon or like, because like in the first movie they didn't really know nothing about Zamunda in America, and now all of a sudden we getting like, In Vogue and Salt and Pepper and Gladys Knight all on the same plane.
That's what. So I just told her that today.
He just said that.
I just told her that today. Okay.
I would not have mind if they would have just made them different people just singing, like just different people singing songs.
Mm-hmm.
Like they would just like have one song, and they were singing. And they would just like care the name. I wouldn't have no problem with it. But they were like Salt and Pepper, In Vogue, and Gladys Knight. I wonder.
That whole scene, I was just like, so wait a minute. When they flashed to the scene, because this is where I was just like, the movie seemed to go into hyperdrive from this moment. It was just like, all right, so we had decent pacing. Oh my God, the king is dying, and y'all introduced this new character, the real life Rafiki Baba. I didn't need him. And then
Baba was not needed at all.
He was not needed, but they wanted to put him in because he was supposed to be played by Chappelle, but he kind of like dipped at the last minute. They was like, damn, we wrote him in already, so we gotta play him. So
you gotta do, like, I understand that. If somebody's like, all right, well, we already wrote the story around him, so I guess. But I was just like, okay, I ain't need homeboy, but all right. So we doing all right. The king about to die, and then all of a sudden we get to the funeral scene where he ain't dead, and then we get through these horrible rewritten parody songs.
Hey, don't talk about my wife like that now. Terry Ellis is my never stop.
Oh no, y'all! Listen, ain't nothing wrong with the folks who perform the songs. I was just like, y'all, I hate when we do stuff like this. Like, come on now, what a king! No, we're not doing this. We're not.
I a lot of cameos in this movie. I wish that they were actual cameos and not like themselves. Like we did get a few later, but like these couple, I was like, they could have just been like 3 women singing. Like they didn't have to be In Vogue, and that's kind of one thing that really like grind my gears, as people would say.
I was just like, y'all, okay.
The funniest part about that was Eddie Murphy started dancing to it when he was up there.
Yeah.
I was laughing at that.
But I was just like, yo, why are we? Does King Joffrey Jafar listen to Salt and Pepper and Vogue?
I mean,
Like the only reason that would make any sense to me was because the last time Lisa was in New York, just like when they were singing the Humpty Dance, I was like, this makes sense. Lisa ain't been in America in 30 years.
yeah, but that song was, well, I ain't gonna get technical, but we all know that song wasn't out. Yeah, we
I
all
know
know
it wasn't out when she left, but I was just like, that of the era, fine. None of these songs were out when she left, but I was like, okay, maybe, she knows who these people are. But what? I'm
Yeah,
confused. Gladys
yeah.
Knight, fine. But also, why are we going on the midnight train to Zamunda up to the Sahara in the sky? What is going on?
I mean, look, I
Stop
don't
pulling
even
Auntie Gladys
know
out during the
why.
Pangea to do stuff.
She still did it, the national anthem. But I don't know why. Like, I still don't know to this day. Like, how is that canon? Like, how are they like?
Mhm.
How do they know who they are? They're from Zamunda.
I mean, a lot can happen in 30 years. I don't see what the nitpick on that is.
Because okay, I mean, I don't mean to cut you off. It's the thing is, a lot happens in 30 years, but look what happened in 21 years in the first movie. Hakeem is completely naive.
Mm-hmm.
He grew up in Zamunda his whole life.
Mm-hmm.
The king is above everything else. He does not bring. It's kind of like Wakanda. He don't bring the outside world into Zamunda.
Facts. Think about that. If you relate this to Wakanda, that movie happened in 2018.
Yeah.
Nobody in the world knew what Wakanda was.
And that's the same thing how they treat Zamunda. This is just the comedy aspect of it. So when a king goes to America, he absolutely knows nothing. I mean, nothing. It ain't just because their food, their clothes, and all that stuff like that. They know nothing about that kind of stuff. So when you come back to Zamunda, the only aspect of America that you have is Lisa and her father with McDowell's. But if they're going to stay over there in Africa, they would be the only ones to bring it. But what me, Prime, and Lady Sketch are saying, Swag, is that it's not wrong if you like it. Cause I'm saying, because like I said, there's some parts of the film thing I liked it, but it changes from the fact they did this scene to be funny.
Yeah.
Because if you look at it doesn't match a parallel to the original Coming to America. There's no balance. Remember when it came to him getting married, they had an actual African tribal dance in the first movie. Mm-hmm. And they took it seriously. And then when Paul Bates starts singing "She's Your Queen," it's like, now that's the funny part. And then her hopping on one leg and in the back and doing all that stuff, that's where your comedy comes in. But I'm taking this thing seriously because the problem with the funeral is that we get all these performances from the Western world that we don't even know how these people know these people.
Well, at this point, let me just interrupt. I will say it's 30-something years later. Obviously, there's some kind of introduction of technology.
Fair.
So people,
and he has the daughters.
So the daughters but the daughters more than likely aren't listening to In Vogue
or Gladys
Salt
Knight.
And Pepper or Gladys Knight. But that means, think about when your boy came on and you was all upset. She was asking about all these artists, these American-based artists.
I'm not gonna even lie to you. That part, we get to it. We get to it.
Oh, I got shit to say about that.
So when she was saying it, so I was like, maybe they do know about these artists. It just seemed weird. It seemed out of place. And then what part I hated the most, where he was just like, "I'm gonna die now," and died, bruh. I almost left.
See, looking back on it from the inside, I feel like that's such a Joffrey move though, because of how arrogant he was in the first movie.
Fact.
I don't know. I just feel like, even though I was like, really, they gonna do it like that? But I just felt like, even when he was like, tying your shoes is vastly overrated, just stuff like that, he was arrogant. So I feel like he's the type of person I say, you know what, I'm gonna just die, and then actually die.
Yeah, I fair. I can agree with you on that point. However, with the way the film was structured, they wanted me to laugh at the funeral, but then they wanted me to feel very sorry and sad for Hakeem because he just lost his dad.
Yeah.
It don't balance that way. So you gotta pick a way. So it's like, okay, even if you want to have, James Earl Jones say some slick shit, towards the end, but then they have like a very serious. Because me personally, the way I would have probably did it was, I never truly understood the threat of, like, okay, he has no boys, he has all girls.
Mm-hmm.
So now Wesley Snipes, General Izzy wants to assassinate him once the king is gone because he has no heir. But I'm just like, but he has a son in order for your daughters to marry. But I get kind of confused about that part, and it wasn't well necessarily explained. So if they explained,
I think they was just saying that because he couldn't produce a boy, he was weak. That was it. That was the whole gist of that.
Go
ahead.
Now I'm just gonna say they did not explain that well, but from what I got from it is that a man has to, it's in the rules, like a man has to rule Zamunda. So if they kill Akeem, then if a man has the rule, then his son or him would probably be the male because they don't have any females in the family.
Now, see, the only thing I would do was I would have made that threat at the beginning, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then it's like, okay, but Hakeem was arrogant and said, well, my dad's still here. And then when his dad dies, then it brings a panic on. Then I would have revealed that there's a son somewhere.
It's a weird. He has a weird character arc in this movie. Akeem does.
He does.
He goes from being like innocent or kind of like nice in the first movie to being arrogant and a jerk in this movie. It's very weird.
Well, I think that was the point. That's why they brought that up towards the end of the movie.
I know, but as for Akeem, of all people, I just thought that was weird of him to.
It was weird. I thought that's why I said it seemed so weird that he just completely dismissed his daughter. You was the one that was like, I'm gonna buck tradition and everything else, and then it was like, well, I guess tradition it is. Like it was just weird, and I guess that could come with years and years of conditioning. Now that you've been here, you got what you wanted out of it. But
he obviously had like a kind of a fear of General Izzy.
Yeah.
But they never really truly went into why he scared this guy.
His dad said he was going to get assassinated. Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, they said he was soft and he's going to get killed.
But I'm saying, so if somebody tells you you're soft, which they've been telling you in the first movie, and you're soft, and it's like, okay, so I got the balls to go out to America to find my wife, but I ain't got the balls to stand up for my girls.
Well, in a sense, I will say, I think Jaffer kind of didn't expose him too much. Like, in the royal family, don't they got to like join the military or something like that?
In the
actual royal family.
You mean in the real royal family?
Yes.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, I think they had to join the. I don't think
they all have to be in the military at some point.
Yeah, I think Akeem was just like there. Like he wasn't in the military. He wasn't doing none of that. He was just there. And I guess that's why they said it made him soft, because he's not strong enough to like lead a country or strong enough to be in the military. Yeah, he's not a warrior. Yeah.
Like his daughter was training she was training for this, but that wasn't his life. Like, they trained for hand-to-hand combat, but he wasn't like stern or he wasn't arrogant like his pop. But I just want to bring up one thing, y'all. Now listen, I understand that Human Rafiki sketched up what his son was supposed to look like and all of that. Cool. But I done seen urban youth, as y'all like to call them on this show, that ain't got nothing but a 4 for 4 from Wendy's and maybe a 2-year-old toothbrush talking about, I want a DNA test. Why the hell? Especially after his mama said, I was a hoe back then. I guess he your daddy. And ain't nobody say, let's go get a DNA test. Also, this random man from a country halfway around the world that you probably couldn't point to on a map says, I'm your dad, and you just brought him and his homie back to your mama house? What the fuck? Listen. What black person just going, somebody walk up to me on the street right now and be like, I'm your dad. I'm be like, all right,
they can't see the pieces.
That's cool. let me go find an adult because right now I feel threatened. Like I'm not bringing you back to my mama house. I don't understand this. Like
I feel like he did that just so he could just get his mom to understand, like, yo, like to get answers from his mom.
Bruh, I don't care if I'm trying to get answers from my mom. I'll FaceTime you.
But
I'm not taking you back to my house.
But I was just saying, even to get answers from his mom, like I said, I know it's a comedy. I know it's coming to America, and I know that with a lot of people who truly love the first movie, they're going to look deeply into certain things because some things that they put in movies, they just hope you kind of bypass it.
I know that.
I understand it. I'm saying, but the glorious thing about Black people is when it comes to certain things that people are passionate about, they just don't bypass it. And I understand where you come from because there have been so many men or women in comedy movies that have gone to the situation and they have given somebody who's trying to tell that I'm your father worse shit than what he did.
He definitely was just like, so you gonna buy some tickets? No, I'm your pop. And then the next scene is we at the house. And I was just like, oh, wow, that escalated quickly. I think I was more like confused about the fact that there was never because you can find comedy in that. I know it sounds horrible.
Yeah.
But you could find comedy in, all right, well, we got to figure out if you really my son kind of thing. And I understand you may not want to go that way with this movie. But it was just like, I was so lost. I was like, she just said she was a hoe. She don't know if that's your daddy. But we all going to Africa anyway. I was just like, okay. And also, I just want to say for the record, I called that shit. When we seen the trailer and they said Leslie Jones, I said, I bet you $5 he met Leslie Jones in that club and they fucked and that's the kid. I just want to put that on the record. I'm not even soul type person, but how else would she have been in the mix?
They raped Hakeem.
They did.
I was like,
damn. We need to talk about that.
I said, we
did not talk about the fact that she just straight up just took it.
I was like, oh, okay, that's the story how we go here. He got raped. Which, by the way, I didn't mind Arsenio Hall's CGI. I did not mind Arsenio Hall's CGI.
Eddie was a little shaky.
That's why they had the lights off. How'd y'all feel about it?
I didn't really care for it. It was a lot of CGI in this movie that was very bad. The lion was the worst one out of all of it.
Definitely so was. I was like, y'all hired the Black Panther
just
person.
I was like, this ain't. Yeah, I was like, this ain't that kind of movie where I should expect grade A CGI. So I was like, all right.
Yeah, no. You know, I wasn't expecting, great CGI either.
I thought Arsenio Hall was cool.
He didn't look bad at first.
Yeah.
I was like, maybe this is the deleted scene from the first movie. And then they started, I was like, oh, no, it's not.
Yeah.
They ain't do Glass.
They age regressed him. Okay.
I mean, I think they try to do the little face filter, but Eddie's face looks the same but different because he got his eye be like closed sometimes. It's just weird. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry to say it. You do.
Some folks, it's just hard to you can't age them back because some folks, just like they say, babies don't look like nobody because they face got to sell in a little bit.
Yeah.
We gotta let it get a little wear on it. When you get old, some things do change.
Yeah,
and it ain't easy to change it back.
And he showed that, but I applaud her for trying it.
Yeah, I'm not by any means saying that. These are little nitpicky, funny type things. There's nothing in this movie that was so hard where I was just like, I want my money back or nothing like that. It was like I've seen some folks who are just like, it was trash. I
see some people that's really tearing this shit apart.
Yes, I showed you the fake deep think piece earlier today, and I was just like, y'all are doing the most. It was like a status that was just like, y'all, this not what y'all wanted. It wasn't ratchet enough for y'all because this was a functional blended film. What does that have to do with this being a comedy? Like, if it's a comedy and I don't laugh, then it didn't do its job. That's the issue with the movie. My issue was not so much with the comedy. It was more so with everything felt kind of rushed and crammed in there. But I'm not in here talking about, oh, well, they was supposed to be tumbling on the floor fighting Lisa and Mary. I'm not, that's not what I'm saying. I just wanted it to be paced a little better. We have a little more character development.
Yeah.
That's my biggest issue with this movie. That and the funeral scene. But I'm sorry, I've been talking for a while. Y'all go ahead.
It's now. I know you really enjoyed this movie, Sway. But is there something that you didn't like about the movie, other than the CGI, which you weren't expecting in the first place?
I said it earlier and I totally lost Wes.
My apologies, but I forgot.
Yeah, I said it earlier and I totally forgot too. I am so sorry. If it comes up, I'll mention it. But yeah, I'm not saying this movie wasn't perfect by any means. Oh, how predictable it was for one. This movie was definitely predictable. Like you said, like if I saw the other trailers, I probably would have said the whole story throughout the movie, and that was it.
I only guess I was like, oh, he gonna end up with the groomer. I was like, they giving her way too much facial screen time. Like,
yeah,
I did like their chemistry. However, I feel like they should have definitely had more time together. Because they kissed and it was like, all right, we getting married. I was like, well, whoa. I was like, hold up. I was like, that how good was that kiss?
They didn't show that, bro. It was scary. So I mean, hey, fine. I'll just go into what I didn't like.
Go ahead. I'm waiting to hear this.
I hated Randy Watson in this movie.
He really hated Randy Watson.
Hated Randy Watson in this movie.
8 different things why he hated Randy Watson.
Who was
Randy Watson? Say what?
Who was that character?
Oh, Swag! Come on, man.
Come on now. I almost called you your real name. I am.
It's the guy. It's the guy in Sexual Chocolate.
Oh,
with the Jerry curl.
Okay, yeah. Like I can't get it. I understand.
Here's the thing. Here's why. Okay, first of all, Sway, I guess you didn't like Randy Watson either.
I didn't care for him. I saw him. I was like, oh yeah, I figured. It was it was getting hyped up, and I was like, oh, that's it.
Prime, how'd you feel about Randy Watson?
I mean, I wish they would have went with another song, but
that too. Okay, here's my biggest issue. One of the funniest things that come to America that I can actually just go word for word on is The Preacher and Sexual Chocolate. What made Sexual Chocolate so funny in the first movie is that he is so god awful. The band is so god awful, and nobody likes Sexual Chocolate. Period.
Except the one dude from the
Except for the one dude. That's what made it funny. He is just smiling hard as shit, and he thinks that's what makes it fun. Even every time somebody see that part of the movie, they have to either smile, giggle, or laugh out loud because that's what makes it funny. Randy Watson is, first of all, I already knew why he was coming up because they showed it in the trailer. Second of all, with Tracy Morgan, he's doing this long, wound up speech of who he about to bring out. I'm like, see, you're killing it right now. And then when
I kind of gave y'all a hint. I already knew he was gonna bring him out.
Yeah, and she was like, "Is it Kendrick Lamar?" And it's the major part. He kept saying, "No." I'm just like, bro, you're into Randy Watson too? You serious?
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense. But when the band comes out, "We Are Family" is playing perfectly, like it is on the album.
Like it's a track.
And I'm like, hold on, it's not supposed to sound like this. And then Randy Watson comes up on there, then he's singing the song, and then there's so much music and celebration. Here's the thing: the people from Queens was all hyped because Randy Watson, but the music is playing so well in the background, and everybody's in the audience is kind of looking, but it don't sound like that.
Oh, let me tell y'all, they did an actual song.
Say what?
It's an actual song that they did for the movie.
Oh, but then they
wait, so it's a Sexual Chocolate song on the soundtrack?
Yeah, it's a mixed in. It's like that one in the funeral song.
Oh, okay. Well, see, so as they're singing it, and then you got the guy for the barbershop dancing, but everybody's sitting there, he's singing "We Are Family," and I'm like, don't tell me Sexual Chocolate's supposed to be the camaraderie that celebrates 30 years of coming to America. He's not supposed to do that. And I made sure, so if you can't beat him, join him. No, fuck Sexual Chocolate. That's what I'm not even laughing at this guy no more. And then the pastor comes up on there. The pastor comes up there to preach with Sexual Chocolate. I'm like, he don't even like him neither. But y'all, it's like this is Eddie Murphy and Arsenio Hall being like, hey, we all made it back 30 years, and then they brought out Peaches and Ass, and to come out there and come out there and do the beatbox. I'm like, okay. When they did it, and then their mouths dropped, like, oh my god, they still around, and they come out like, did they sneak on our plane? You know what I'm saying? How else the fuck they get there? And then they're saying we are family, and everybody is into this shit. I'm like, this is, and then the daughter start like, well, fuck it, let's just dance as we are family. No, I hated it.
He really hated it.
I hated. Nobody's supposed to cheer for Randy Watson. So I said, this is a couple of my scenarios. Me personally,
a couple. I only knew there was one.
If the funeral scene was, if they wanted to make it like it was, right? Mm-hmm. I say, wouldn't it have been funny if Randy Watson came out and that's when King Jabba died, mm-hmm. when he started singing,
or if he just sang, kind of like the one thing I will agree with in the first movie, the fact that he came up there was playing real bad. He only sang the one verse, and then everybody was just like, "No, thank you." If it was just like one verse of a song. And then the king died. Yeah, I will agree with you. That would have been funny.
Anyway, sexual chocolate. Akeem, I'm going to die now. And you know what I'm saying? I probably would have laughed more to that. Or if he came up on there and he played "We Are Family" terrible, the whole band played it terrible, and as he's singing, then all I can hear is Tracy Morgan and all Leslie Jones, all people and all people from Queens, mm-hmm. and everybody in Zamunda is just like, fuck is this guy?
What's going on?
Why is he even here to the point where it's just like all he hears is them cheering and the song in the background sounds terrible?
Or as you said, if they had actually bought out Sister Sledge.
If they actually bought Sister Sledge to sing the song, I would have been up on anybody else.
Again, I will say one of the Sledge sisters, I believe, just passed away. So they probably wouldn't have done it. However, I would think that would be funny if they come out, start singing "We Are Family" and it ain't good, and the Sister Sledge comes and moves them off the stage and sings the song. That would have made sense. But COVID, and again, one of them died. So
that was before COVID.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
They recorded COVID in 2019, I believe.
Really?
Because it's supposed to come out 2020.
You're right. It was supposed to come out 2020, but one of them, I don't know when she passed. I'm pretty sure it was during 2020, because remember, and I don't think she was well.
They recorded "Coming to America" and "Bad Boys for Life" on the same time.
You're right. Okay, fine. I was not. I'm really thinking because people have begun doing production during COVID anyway. Yeah. So you're right, but I could see that. I understand. I didn't hate that scene as much as you did. I did feel like it felt out of place because it's Randy Watson.
Play that sax for me. And I'm just like, don't play the sax good. That don't make no sense.
This is the time when I wish we had like cameras so y'all could see how angry he is.
I'm like, don't play this shit good. Like, he is terrible. He don't need to have no career. And my mother got the nerve to talk about something. Well, you know, he could have learned in 30 years. That's not what makes it funny.
I wish they say the same thing. like you're really. It sounds like you really heard about this. I'm like, whoa.
Well, you understand? All that shit happened. I was just like, yo, stop. I was actually in my room while I saying, stop cheering, because this shit is not making it better for me. Y'all ruining the image of sexual. Really not happy. Y'all are ruining the image of sexual chocolate for me. And I was like, that's what makes the whole thing funny. They got sexual chocolate pops. That has been a cult thing from it coming to America. It's kind of like how Soul Glow was. Mm-hmm. You know what made Soul Glow so funny? The over soulful song, and that is 1988, and that shit about to go out of style. And Daryl is still pushing it. That's what makes it funny.
You're right.
You know, and I was like, well, you know, that right there just it really kind of bothered, because I was like, I don't need the whole. Okay, fine. If y'all want to take one big family picture, like, hey, they're coming to America too. It's been 30 years, and we got a lot of the original actors back and everything, and it's a celebration, and we're doing all that. That's fine, but not on Randy Watson's time.
I really wish they would have kept that one line in, though. Where, the dude was like, I thought he was dead for sure. I wish they would have kept that line in.
That would have been funny to me.
Funny. That would have been funny.
That would have been fun. Like, first of all, how did Randy Watson get on this plane? I was saying, well, Tracy Morgan.
Morgan got him on the plane.
Oh, what would have been funny? Instead of Tracy Morgan waiting for the African rapper to finish, if he had Kanye West pushed him off the stage, told him, y'all about to get some real music up on out here, and bring on Sexual Chocolate.
Very much been in line with.
I don't want him trying. I don't want him sitting there doing a Grammy speech on Apollo speech about to bring out Sexual Chocolate. I don't want any of that.
Anybody else got any dislike?
I'm sorry.
They'll go on and on.
No, I'm sorry. I had to
get this is going too far. Like, you really heard about this. I didn't think you was deeply invested in Sexual Chocolate.
Honestly, if you've seen the original movie,
as many times as I have,
it's like you have a connection to certain parts of the movie that you want to see, rehashed in the sequel. But I don't think this was one of them. This is not something I was just like, I'm dying to see Sexual Chocolate improve in the second movie. I don't think that was.
That was on the list. Say, why are we expecting, rehashments if it's not supposed to be a rehash?
But I'm saying, like, just with any sequel, like, if you have a running joke in a movie, you expect to see the running joke in the next movie, even if you don't, beat it to death. A reference here and there is fine. The premise of Coming to America, it's not but so much you could do with it. So we're going to get certain things in the sequel that we had in the first one, like him dressing in the jacket with all the pins and the hat. Okay. That's a rehash from the first movie. Randy Watson being there, a rehash from the first movie. Paul Bates singing, a rehash from the first movie.
I thought that was funny until he started doing the rap part.
I could see that.
It went on too long. That's how I felt, because Paul Bates coming out of nowhere and just doing wahoo. I'm like, see, he about to do his shit now, like he did in the first movie. Mm-hmm. And he sings his Prince verse. I'm just like, wasn't expecting that. No. I laughed, and then here comes Tiana Taylor. But no, he got to come in there and do his whole shit. I'm just like, no, it didn't work for me.
I mean, it's all part of the song. However, I will agree that if they had just cut it off when she was singing, I could see that. But also another random, like, nitpicky thing. How did she come? She came on strong when they was doing that Prince song. But then they get back to the what's it called? The like party. I guess that's something like their engagement party or whatever. And she back to the Vanessa Bell Calloway act. And I was like, but wait a minute. She was over here getting sexy down, and then stroking his face and grabbing his neck real aggressively, and then it's whatever you like. And I was like, but wait, those two don't.
Now, swear, that's a rehash I did not need.
That we didn't need that.
I need no more submissive women.
I didn't understand.
Especially when you're in a movie when you're trying to empower the women.
Also,
I just took it as this country's whole culture.
Yeah, obviously oppressive. The whole theme of it is they're supposed to, it's oppressive to women. Yeah. But I was like, we definitely didn't need the whatever you like, especially when y'all still got old girl hopping on one leg after 30 years. Like, come on, y'all not finna looking crazy. Like, what? You mean to tell me all this time he ain't go back and be like, somebody get old girl? She just been barking.
I'm gonna say this. My final, like I said, overall, like I said, I've watched it. I took Primetime's advice. I watched it 3 times.
Okay, I only watched it twice.
I watched it 3 times. He said you need to watch it more times. I was like, okay.
He said that so you could put money in his pocket. That's why. He trying to get that box office check.
I said, well, as long as you share it, I'm cool. So I watched it 3 times, and like I said, so I felt the same, maybe a little bit worse, especially at the end when I seen it. But I still have not changed my grade on it. I gave it a C. I gave it a hashtag give it. It's not in my worst of 2021, but it's not in my best. It's in that limbo area. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like Malcolm and Marie for me right now. It's in that limbo area.
I understand that.
Yeah,
I I agree with that.
That was the most tame thing you said throughout this
Today,
this whole
you went
thing.
off about. I have been listening to him go off about Randy Watson, y'all. Every time he watched a movie, I had to hear him go off about Randy Watson. I was just like,
I know. I'm sitting here. I'm like, maybe I watched the wrong film.
Like, no, I'm sitting here like, thanks, Prime. Thanks for telling him to watch it again and again.
Like he said,
I'm just saying. Check. Hey, you gotta watch it twice to enjoy some parts again.
That means I gotta hear about Randy Watson more than once, though.
Oh, and I'm gonna leave on this. The fact that they didn't end with the Coming to America credit call killed it. I pissed me off.
He wanted the credits where it gave like all the like cameos and things. And also, wait, maybe you know the answer to this, Prime. I thought they said they was bringing what's old boys from Trading Places? Mortimer and them.
Who?
Mortimer and what is the other guy's name, y'all?
They did, or they did a tribute to him.
Oh, I thought they was in the movie.
You know how old they was in that movie in the 80s?
That wasn't there. Wait a minute.
I mean, the barbershop people are still.
but the barbershop people. The barbershop people are fake people. Those people were really 80 in the 80s.
Okay, I thought they said that they was in the movie. That I was just like, oh, I mean, good for them. I guess I got it wrong.
No, I was just calling Joes as their nephew or whatever, grandson or whatever.
Okay. Oh, y'all, do y'all understand? Until he said that right now.
Yep.
I did not make the connection. Okay, that's my point.
You so clocked that by that part.
I was a little bit leery after the whole King's funeral part. And I was like, let me go take a bathroom break and get some snack. And then I came back and Colin Jost was on the screen. I was just like, and he was like, that's dude from Saturday Night Live. And I was just like, okay.
Yeah, he was like their son. And he was working at Duke and Duke, which is the same company that they run.
Yeah. Okay. I understand. I really thought, I was like, are they in this movie? Because are they alive? Like, I'm just completely, okay. Went over my head. Y'all can go ahead and continue. Do what you're going to do. Wrap it up, whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, you want to wrap it up, Mr. A&E?
Do you want him to wrap it up?
Well, yeah. The movie experience is his segment. I ain't taking this shot.
Prime, what's your final grade for it?
Can you give it a grade?
I say watch it again. Watch it as many times as you can.
He just wants his money. That like it's completely biased. Like, come on. He asked for.
I would say at least watch it. At least watch it. I would say 3 times, just for appreciation purposes. But you can watch it. I say at least twice to get a better understanding. At least twice. You can even skip the parts, whatever. But I think twice is a good number.
That was the weirdest review I ever heard for a movie.
Watch it twice.
Yeah, you gotta watch it about 2 times to really,
you gotta watch it about 2 times,
3,
maybe 5.
Like, does that mean it's good or like?
To be completely honest, I'm not even mad at that because whenever if I'm listening to a new album, I usually give it at least 2 listens so I can give it a well-rounded review. So I can't be mad at that, like, ideology. But
yeah, I say watch it. I would just say watch it twice, but yeah, I just do think that they should have more character development. And I like the the second daughter didn't really get that much attention, but I don't know why the last daughter stood out more than the second daughter.
Yeah, it was weird. I mean, well, maybe that's real. That's his real life. The middle child just don't be getting no love sometimes.
Yeah, but that's his daughter in real life.
That's his daughter in real life? I knew one of them was his daughter in real life.
Yes, the middle one.
Okay, so the one with the glasses, then that's his real life daughter.
Yeah.
Maybe he knows she can't act for real. I don't know.
I mean, honestly,
I'm just being. I didn't see enough of her to say she can or can't. So.
What? So you mean On Fleek is not no more?
No, I will say the in and out of my pocket thing was funny.
That did have me dying.
Are you trying to say I'm out of pocket? That shit was funny. I'll give it that. But yes, I didn't know that was his real daughter. Damn.
Well, thank you
Gave
for
her nothing.
that. Yeah, that's the movie experience. That was a long spoiler review, but a lot needed to be fleshed out because you definitely need to get that off your chest.